Welcome. I am the one and only MSJ, Max for short, and I have a very special guest with me today.
And it's Frank Bose.
And I am doing another podcast with another friend of mine. Today our topic is video games. Just like me and Frank are just really into
Yeah,
video
we're
games.
some gamers.
Yeah, right. We've dabbled in, like, when I've done my first ever like live streams and stuff like that. Frank has been there.
Yeah.
We did WWE.
Yeah.
So, um, so you said you wanted to talk about our favorite games from
Yeah.
2019.
That we've played in 2019. Not
Yeah.
necessarily that came out in 2019.
So, I'll let you go first.
Okay, so mine would definitely have to be the Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Switch. I'm playing that a lot, actually, here recently, too. It's Smash Bros, man. Like,
Right.
you can't go wrong with it.
See, I never played. I mean, I played them like when you brought your Switch over.
Yeah, we played.
Yeah, I was like, I was just like utterly terrible at it.
Yeah.
I'm
not too great at it either, but
I just like
it's just the nostalgia, really getting all them Nintendo guys, and now they got like Sega, and they got Street Fighter people on there now, and all kinds of people just to battle it out.
right. Just Smash was just never like when I would go over to friends' houses. Smash was always being played, but I always like opted to sit out just because
Yeah.
I'm like, and if I do play, it's like, you know what, I'm going to be that one player.
Yeah.
Just like I'm not going to play by like by the rules. I'm like
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like I'll pick the word like I'll pick like Odd Job, like
Yeah.
their version of the Odd Job, and just I'm gonna be Kirby, and I'll just
Yeah,
each end walk. Me and you are going off the side of the edge,
and then spit you out, and then float back to the
yeah,
top.
It's like you're on your own. So
Yeah. Yeah, well, see, what's cool about that game, they got like an adventure mode on there. It's like a board, and you have to like do these random battles, and they have like the stuff is called spirits, where you get like different attributes and stuff for your fighters. I don't know, it's really cool. You could put thousands just hours in that game. Really, I mean,
oh,
I haven't even scratched the surface of it yet.
I get that. That's kind of how I was with Battlefield Bad Company too. I would just play. I didn't necessarily need friends to play. That was like my first real big online game.
Yeah,
Was that one because my cousin had it. I had a few friends who had it, so we would all squad up and
yeah,
we were actually pretty decent. Like we weren't like I'm not saying like we were spectacular, but
Yeah.
like we held our own
Right.
in a few games. So,
yeah.
but I only played a few games last year. But my favorite had been the Spider-Man game. Like,
Spider-Man. Yeah,
yeah.
I haven't played it.
Oh, it's fun. Like it, it's. I'm gonna have to break it out again since I have an upgraded TV, so
Yeah.
I'll be able to like fully experience being able to swing through New York and like
Yeah,
actually seeing the
get-
buildings go by and everything.
Get the whole experience.
Right,
yeah.
and
the
like
Spidey experience.
because like I like to get trophies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have one trophy left, and that is to beat the game on the hardest difficulty. And
Oh man.
I'm like playing it on the big screen. It might be like actually
Yeah.
like.
That's gonna be what's up.
Yeah, I may get the like true full experience playing
Yeah.
it because I beat all the DLC and stuff like that, and it's like because Red Dead came out last year too, right? Yeah.
I think it's either 18 or 19.
Yeah, so I think Red Dead came out last year too. Oh
I
man,
don't.
that's tough now.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I think okay,
I hope the Switch gets that too. Well, anyway, that's another topic.
But
A little later.
I'll say Spider-Man just because when it came to Red Dead, I sporadically played it.
Yeah.
And it didn't really grab me like Spider-Man did. That's probably why Spider-Man's edging out Red Dead, just because I couldn't put Spider-Man down because
Yeah.
I was full. I was like, oh,
Fully engulfed in it.
Right.
Yeah, I
So,
get that.
but
sure.
Red Dead was a different.
See the Switch, man. It just like got me back into gaming, kind of like it brought me back there.
I get that.
Yeah, because I kind of fell off the whole gaming thing for a minute, and now I'm back to it. Now I love it.
Oh, like when you brought it over, that kind of got me into wanting to play the older games.
Yeah, and that's that's another thing, because you get to Switch online and like you can play the NES and the Super Nintendo games. Well, a few of them for free. Well, you just got to do the subscription, but
compared to what Xbox is it? It's Game Pass on Xbox and PS Plus on the PlayStation. Like compared to those, the subscription is like,
oh yeah, it's like dirt cheap.
Yeah,
it's like what it was like $4 a month.
Right.
Now you think that's what I paid for it.
Right.
For like $4.20 something.
And for Nintendo, it's like even if you're just like not your average gamer, but it's like if you just need to like, hey, pick it up, like
right.
So not like how it is with PlayStation, where like PlayStation Plus is required to play online, and it's like if like the Plus or I think the Switch subscription is like, oh, let me just play Mario Brothers or what we played. We played Kirby Golf.
Yeah, it was like Kirby Dream Course. That's what it's called for the SNES.
Yeah, so it was like a game.
Yeah, I've heard of it like from actually watching Game Grumps, but yeah, this game was fun though. I never played it until we played it that night. It was really fun. We had a lot of fun with that.
Well, that's another thing. That was another thing was trying to do last year, was try to play more like classic games or games I probably should have been playing.
Yeah,
like I would like to play like Ghosts and Goblins. That's on there, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's on there, and what's the sequel to it?
Earthbound's on there as well, right?
No Earthbound, actually.
No, oh, really?
Sadly, no Earthbound.
Oh,
it might be because they add games sometimes, and it might be on there.
Well, because after watching the AVGN
episode,
the
Earthbound,
I'm just seeing how like
that's a game actually that I didn't play back when I had a SNES, a Super Nintendo, but I remember going to like the rental store and like looking at the big case that it came in, because it came in with a strategy guide in it, and the case was like huge. It was like a huge Super Nintendo box, and it had this like big robot thing on it, and I was like, man, I want to rent that game, but I never did.
Same. That's I switched back from my dad's house to my mom's house, or my mom's house to my dad's on every other weekend, so I had to have the same system at both houses.
Yeah.
So it's like, and the first system I got was truly mine, was the PlayStation.
Me too.
So
PS1?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like, see, the SNES and the regular Nintendo, them were hand-me-downs for my brother, but the first one that I got too was the PS1.
Because, and I think my first game on there was the Atari Classics.
Oh, okay.
And so it was like games that my dad played. So it was like,
because I'm into game collecting, and I've been collecting. Well, I was collecting for the PS1 a little, and I'm pretty sure I came across that, and I have it. It's either that one or the Intellivision one. I'm not sure. I think my first game.
It may be the Intellivision one, because
it had like a TV on it on the case. Yeah, that's the Intellivision.
Okay, because I had a tooth. What's it called? I had the ones that stuck out. The one that stuck out the most was when you had a mouthful of teeth and you had to fight cavities, and it's like. So that was.
I remember. I'm pretty sure because it has like arcade game. No, that was the Midway one. Never mind.
So
fucking Sinistar's on there, and that arcade game is kind of scary. Because like there's like you'll be floating along, and all of a sudden like this big thing, it'll come out of nowhere, and it's like we'll just own you.
Speaking of scary, like most scary game you ever played?
That I played?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's kind of hard, because.
What about the first scary game you played? That
like ever in my whole life? Probably Probably when I rented Silent Hill for the PS1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because that game was really foggy and stuff. And
Mhm.
it was kind of like, actually, for the Nintendo 64, Turok. I remember being a little kid and my brother playing Turok, and I was like so scared of that game because of the dinosaurs. on
Yeah,
it.
that's why I thought it was that one.
Yeah.
See, I didn't have a 64 either. I like, even though I managed to play on the NES, the Super Nintendo, the 64.
Yeah.
But my first official Nintendo
Console.
system was the GameCube.
Oh,
That
okay.
was the one that I
Yeah.
when I officially had, because I really wanted a wrestling game, WrestleMania
Yeah.
18, and then that's where my first really foray in the scary games was
Uh-huh.
Resident Evil 4.
Oh, yeah. Like,
So,
I mean, that game really wasn't scary for me at the time because when that came out, I think I was like 13 or something. It was a little while ago, but it wasn't like being like, like 10 and playing Turok on the
Right.
64 and getting
right.
scared of dinosaurs.
Well, like I think it was more or less like how I had everything set up, because like me and
Yeah.
you, our generation of TVs were tube TVs.
Yeah,
And
the CRTs.
Yeah, we didn't have no flat screen 65 inches.
Yeah.
We were on 22-inch TVs or whatever,
And sitting there in the dark and
Yeah.
in the glow of that thing and just
Right.
the noise it made.
Right.
Because it, made that staticky.
right, giving off
buzzing.
some kind of radiation.
Yeah.
So
It actually does.
you know,
That's what the lead's for inside of it.
Okay. But I think that's basically. I think that was a little bit because I was just like the way where I played it was just like it was kind of felt. I had like a little. I had a little almost a mini living room where me and my sister were living. Like we had our area in the house, and it was just like the way, it felt like. Especially if the house was dark, it just felt like just the TV, and that was it. Like
Right.
you couldn't see nothing else. Maybe
Right.
the outline of the entertainment center it was on, but
Yeah.
everything else was like
Pitch
No,
black.
right.
Especially you just focused right on that TV.
Right. And since sitting a little too close to the television and
Yeah.
everything, but I think the part of the game that was scary was when what was it? What was it really called? The regenerators.
Yeah, and then they had the Iron Maidens.
Yeah.
I know what part you're talking about because you walk up to it and it just lifts off the bed.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my god, and you're kind of like backing up away from him. And
Mhm.
you're like, what the hell?
Because when I first started playing that, like I went through the sewers, with the alien bugs and whatever. And it's like,
And the thing that crawled on the wall.
yeah,
And you drop down, it's like right after you get the striker shotgun.
right.
That shotgun with the barrel clip.
Mm-hmm.
And you walk through. And then it's like you hear the footsteps behind you and you hear the door kick open. And it's like, oh god.
Well,
That game was, I actually thinking about it now, like that game was scary.
Well, like what made that part scary was like the breathing sounds.
Yeah,
because I think right because I don't think you see the monster. You just hear the sounds first. And,
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
yeah,
This is different. That's a different part. This is like after Ashley gets kidnapped, like for like the third time.
oh, okay.
She like runs up against the wall and it like closes like chains on her, and then
Mhm.
the wall flips around.
Okay. Oh,
That's
yeah.
right after that part in that
Okay.
game.
Oh.
Because that's like one of my favorite all-time games. Is Resident Evil 4, and I've played. I have that game pretty much on every console it ever came out on, and played that game probably 100 times, probably more than that.
Oh.
But I know what you're talking about because these monsters, they were, they threw up acid and stuff on you.
Oh. See, that's not the one I was talking about.
Okay.
Like mine is like you had to go to your infrared
Yeah, that is the regeneration.
Okay.
It's on the island.
Yeah.
The last part of the game. The
on disc
island.
2.
Yeah, disc 2. Back when games had more than one disc.
Oh, Red Dead had more than two discs.
Yeah,
but
it had the download.
yeah, but not like it had this.
Where you'd get to a certain part in the game and it'd be like, please insert disc 2.
Right. So I think that was the most scary, first real terrifying one.
And I think, not to interrupt you, but
No,
I
you're
think
good.
even like when you would like say if you would like get to disc 2 to like and you'd shut it off, you would have to put disc 1 back in it and then load your file and then take disc 1 back out and then put disc 2 in it. Or I don't know if you could have started it just with disc 2.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's been
Me either.
a decade.
I'll have to actually get my cube out and see.
Like what was it? Like I had like an urge to play Resident Evil because 4, and I'm like, oh, because I had like one of my like most dearest friends to this day, like that was what really sparked everything, was like, oh, you have Resident Evil 4, I have Resident Evil 4, and
yeah,
I lent him my memory card so he could copy everything, so I could have like the Infinite Rocket Launcher, the 50 cal handgun.
Oh, the hand cannon.
Yeah.
Oh man, that thing was so hard to get.
The Chicago typewriter and everything.
But you had to 5-star every map on the Mercenaries mode.
Right.
And it was so hard to do that.
So like, and then, but also Resident Evil 4 was kind of another first. Was prior to me like finally just getting all that stuff just by a friend, like I attempted professional mode.
Oh
with
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I can actually beat it with just before I did all that, got all that stuff. I'm like, oh, I actually was actually able to do that. I'm not one to go out of my way to play hard difficulties. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm just someone who
I just want to enjoy the game, kind of.
Even though there is
I used to be kind of like that, though. Like, oh, I beat this one, legendary or veteran mode.
Right.
But yeah, anymore, I'm just... There's not enough time in my day anymore to get really fucking good at a game and play it on the hardest difficulty. Just...
Speaking of that, it's like, I've been playing Batman Arkham City, like the remaster on the PS4, and I'm like, I used to be really good at those games,
right?
And then like when I was playing the combat, just like, I'll just beat up some thugs for the fun of it, just to break up some time, and I'm like, man, what happened to my hand-eye coordination?
Yeah, like reflexes, like you forget everything.
Yeah, I'm like, even though I know where all the buttons are, still it's just like, oh, I'm not quite fluid in the getting everything down again. You mean. So I'm getting there slowly because I have to beat the game one more time. So, I'm trying to think, is there like a specific favorite gaming moment? I've talked about this with other people on podcasts, but what was it like one of your favorite gaming moments that like you will never forget? Like mine was like when the PS3 came out, and I couldn't wait for Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah. And
it was like day one purchase, and I beat it, in one sitting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like, it was like, there's no way I'm quitting because I was too into this game. I think I might have stopped, but I didn't go to bed. So I always consider it as one sitting.
Right.
Because I was like, oh, I went to this house and this house, and I came back home, and then I was still like up. I was like, I'm so amped.
Right.
Like fighting all the different bosses in the game.
Probably my most favorite experience in a video game. That's a really tough question, man. Because there's just so many, and like trying to remember. That's a hard thing too, remembering this stuff. But it either has to be like when Halo 3 first launched and like making it all the way through that game, and like seeing the worlds and stuff and like HD and stuff, and like that was pretty cool back then. And like, I know there's got to be something better than that in my mind, but
I had another one like in school, we had a class.
Oh, have you ever played Paper Mario on the GameCube?
No. Dude,
that's another one of my like all-time favorite video games. A lot of the GameCube, like that era of video games in my life was like very great. Like there's a bunch of good games for that thing. Like Paper Mario, it's like kind of like an RPG turn-based game where you got these like different badges. I remember going to school and bringing the strategy guide with me to school, and like trying to figure out like the different combinations of the badges to equip, because they'd all give you special powers or like different perks and stuff. So like I'd like write down like different mode and stuff, and I don't know, man. It was a really good time, man, back then.
Oh, I get it. Because I never really do you consider yourself a gamer or just someone who loves games?
Anymore, I think I'm more in it, yeah, cause just to probably someone just to like games.
Yeah, I think there was a period where I would.
Yo, yeah, I was hardcore, like all for it, man. And then I just got other interests, and like now I have a son,
Yeah,
and
I get that. Like there was for a while where like I was just playing nothing but GTA Online. Like when it first came out on the PS3, it was just like I was online every day, and then like switching up between Battlefield 4 and Bad Company, and just like I was like strictly online, and then there like when then life happened, and I like that started to kind of like go
plummet down,
and like even though I still like game, I still love playing games. It's like I'm just more like I just like games. Like,
yeah, I like video games and the nostalgia and everything. That's why I like collecting games, because it like brings back memories and stuff, and like you put it in and it's like, man, these graphics are a lot shittier than I remember. Or like, what the hell was I thinking?
I think that's what appealed to me, like when they did the NES and the Super Nintendo classics. I'm like, I think that's what was more appealing to me more than anything. It wasn't just like oh, this was just like it's a break from the current gen more than anything. I think when we were playing Kirby, I was like, this was a time where when me and my buddies we were sitting around playing games,
and when you had to like sit in front of a TV together, like there was no online,
like you
had to get together to play video games together. It was just so fun. It was like my first memory of like Smash Bros. Like, remember there's this one guy I knew, and he introduced it to me, a kid, and I remember it was like 2000. I think the game launched in 1998, 99 for the 64. But I remember just watching him play that, and I was like, dude, this game looks awesome. Like, I didn't know this existed. You could be all these Nintendo characters, and you could fight each other. Like, what? That, like, blew my mind back then.
Okay. Is there a genre of video games that you don't like?
That I don't like? Either sports games, but not all sports games. Like, I like, you ever played NBA Jam?
Mm-hmm.
Like that game, I love that. I love NBA Jam.
I had that on the Sega.
Yeah. But like simulation sports games.
Okay.
That's what I'll call them. Like NBA Live or whatever, and NBA fucking 2000.
So you lean toward more of the arcade.
Yeah, the arcade sports games.
Gotcha. I think my favorite genre is wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm a diehard wrestling fan.
Right.
And so, like, wrestling games are, like, I buy them yearly. Those are, like people who buy Madden yearly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the one who buys
the wrestling
yearly.
Yeah.
And I haven't, like, I really quit buying them. I may just pick up one.
Every other year.
Yeah, but now it's, like, because they're starting to become more
the same.
Like when ones on the PlayStation 2, those were like
game changer. I remember playing, like, me and my friend Ryan, we were wrestling fans back then, and we'd play SmackDown versus Raw, and I remember that didn't they have a SmackDown versus Raw 2?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I think they went to a different name after that one.
Yeah.
But
they were all for the PS2 though. I remember playing the hell out of them games with him and making fighters, staying up all night and doing that,
Right. Oh yeah, like that. Like me and my cousin, we would have tournaments and stuff. Like, we would make tournaments, and like we each would pick a player, and we would try to get to the end of the tournament, and then, but then like for like Here Comes the Pain and Shut Your Mouth and like Know Your Role. like those were more arcade, and I'm like, those are the ones I really really liked. Like
Yeah.
those are always the ones that stand out. You know what? I still enjoy the simulation style because it looks like it's on television, but it's like
Right.
sometimes I just need like some cheesy.
Yeah, to goof around.
Right.
You know? Yeah,
Like-
I get that. Too.
Like because with like this new game, the 220, or 2020, it was like it has some like that cheese factor a little bit because they have like DLC, like some of them were zombies and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's more appealing than the game itself. It's like
Right.
So
When it like doesn't take itself so seriously.
right, but like the genre that I tend to stay away from is the RPGs, like the Final Fantasy stuff like
Yeah.
that. Those
See,
are
I actually like them games, like the JRPGs and
Mhm.
stuff. I really like those, like the Tales games, Tales of Symphonia, Tales of Vesperia. There's a bunch of them,
right.
but I enjoy them.
Yeah, I just never got into them. Like
Yeah, they do, like, especially like when you first start them. Like, I even don't like when you first start them because it just takes forever to get it going. And it's just dialogue boxes and dialogue boxes, and it's just like, come on already, just let me explore the place.
that was another thing that I tried to do last year because I bought all the Kingdom Heart games, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm wanting to branch out in a hardcore way with my
Yeah.
games. Like here, like last year, I kind of gave myself for 2019 like a goal of watching 150 new movies,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted to like some of them were movies that obviously that were in my wheelhouse of movies, but some of them were like romantic comedies, like stuff that would like when me and Era would have date nights, like stuff like I was like, you pick the movies, and
Right.
like so
Stuff you wouldn't normally watch
Right.
on your own.
right,
of
exactly.
course.
And then I was like, oh, I need to watch more classic movies, like movies that
Yeah.
like, have like a grander feel. Like I watched Lawrence of Arabia and Chinatown and a few others. And I'm like, oh, like the movies that a movie lover should have seen.
Yeah.
And so it's like, but like, oh, that's what I was trying to do last year with games. Like, oh, let me just branch out a little bit when it comes to
Yeah. Let's try something new.
right,
Yeah, because you never know if you really give something a chance if you might like it or not.
right. So, what system is your favorite?
My favorite system?
Yeah,
Now it has to be the Switch. Like, that thing is awesome. Like, Nintendo did something really good this time, and that is the Switch.
Did you like the Wii and the Wii U?
Oh, yeah. Well, the Wii U, I never had a Wii U, never owned one. But they've ported most of the good games to, like that Smash Bros. Game. That is just the Wii U version
Oh,
of
okay.
Smash. But they've added stuff to it, and like Mario Kart, that's what's on the Wii U, Mario Kart 8.
Okay.
They just ported it over. But the Wii, yeah, like I remember my brother actually bought a Wii because I had an Xbox 360,
Mm-hmm.
and he bought a Wii, and that thing was fun, dude. Like, remember like the Wii Sports?
Mm-hmm.
That thing, that's another actually he was talking about, like my favorite moments in gaming. That right there, that's up there too. Just playing that Wii Sports and the bowling on it.
Oh,
Dude, that was so fun. We would sit there for hours and just we'd get drunk and stuff and play that game, and man, me and my brother had a blast playing that.
no, like speaking of like, we had a Wii as well,
Yeah.
but we didn't have it for
there was so much shovelware on that game, like,
right.
and I collect it too. I got a bunch of crap for that console.
I know you do.
Yeah, I got like, I think like 60 or some titles for that game, and most of it is crap.
Because I remember when we went to our our used place here in town, like we. Like you were like, oh, I don't have this one yet, and it was like some weird. Title, like,
yeah. What? What is it? I've bought like
Was
Bratz
it-
games.
Was it
before.
like Nicktoon something?
Yeah, it was some kind of Nicktoons game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really care. I just, for some reason, I was just for a while, I was just into collecting crap on the Wii.
I understand.
Half of it I haven't even put in my Wii.
But I get that.
Yeah.
I totally. There's a few movies that
They've
I have.
like, I brought it up to the counter and they look at me like, you're really gonna buy Bratz right now for the Wii? You know how shitty this game is, dude? No. And am I gonna play it? No.
No. I
It's just gonna sit on my shelf.
right.
Like,
I just need it.
yeah, I need it.
We mainly had the Wii for the TV show, game show games.
Okay, yeah,
Like-
I got a few of those. Those I've actually played with, like, me and my girlfriend.
Like we got the Family Feud and Jeopardy, and we never.
I have Press Your Luck.
Oh, that'd been nice to have. We didn't get that one, but we weren't going to get Wheel of Fortune. That one just didn't really appeal to us. But Jeopardy, like
Yeah,
that one,
Jeopardy.
like because we
They got some. I think they've got some of them games for the Switch too. I'm gonna have to look into that because them were fun. Now you just talk about that. It reminds me of playing some of those too.
because I don't know if you remember, but we had the microphone thing up, the Wii Speak or whatever it's called, and we would sabotage players.
Yeah.
And so, when we would all try to buzz in, we
Yeah.
would all start yelling
Yeah.
and trying to,
Yeah, like,
and like,
just-
like that's the wrong answer and cost them money. And it
Right.
was like eventually, like we're gonna have to unplug this.
yeah,
like we're
someone's gonna get in a fight. Like,
yeah,
Grandpa's gonna get punched in the nose. You know.
but it was a lot of fun, and
The console was fun. Man.
I think I always refer to it as the party console.
Oh yeah, there is so many party games, and there's good ones and there's shitty ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to think what other games. I mean, of course, like when it initially came out, it had the Mario Brother game. I think
Yeah, the new Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I had a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah.
But with the Switch, that's one of the main things that what I want it for is so I could play
Yeah.
because
The Mario games. And
right.
I just bought the new Super Mario Bros. U.
hmm
Cause that's a Wii U game that they just ported to the Switch. But that's okay because there's a lot of people like me that I'm a Nintendo fan and I didn't buy a Wii U because a lot of people, they marketed it weird. Like, people thought it was just an add-on for the Wii. That's what I thought it was. And I was like, oh, cool, they're coming out with this add-on for the Wii. It's like some kind of tablet thing. And I'm
Right.
like, cool. And then come to find out it's its own console. And I'm like, why?
Yeah, it's like the Wii U.
Why?
The Wii U is like in a weird position because it's the Wii U, and
They
the
were like
Switch,
on their
right?
like they were limping to the barn, dude, real bad, like back then.
Yeah, and then I thought with the Switch, I think it's like
It's from that one guy. I can't remember his name, but this dude died. He was like the president of Nintendo.
oh yeah.
He had a hand in like every game from like Nintendo, like since the NES. He had a hand in its development. I can't remember his name. I gotta look it up on my phone now. I'm looking. Everyone, like, if anyone listens to this, they're gonna be like, they're shouting it out right
Right.
now. Like, it's this guy.
Did you? How did you? We talked about going to the our local rental place and renting movies and games and stuff like that. Like, how did you decide your games? Did you go box art or
Yeah, but well,
did you actually like? Because I had Game Informer, and so I like that kind of gave me a heads up a little bit on. what
oh
kind of
yeah,
games.
because I had a Nintendo Power, but Satoru Iwata,
Okay.
that's who it was. Satoru. I just butchered that.
Right. I'm not very good with that kind of stuff either. But
Yeah, that dude, he like literally, like I said, he was like had a hand in every game. He wasn't just like, president of Nintendo. He he did stuff. And then, he was like a programmer because that's how he got his first job there. That was a programmer at Nintendo and became the president of the company.
way to move up.
Right?
Yeah.
I think he died in like 2016.
So fairly recent.
Yeah. Or 2015. Died of like stomach cancer or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Trying to think. There was.
I think it's Satoru Iwata, yeah.
Okay. I always try to remember videos of people saying their names and
Yeah, that's how kind of what went through my head.
Yeah,
Because there's this YouTuber's name's Gaming Historian or Game Historian.
Yeah.
And they did this real I think it's an hour-long thing about him, and that's how Satoru Iwata. There you go.
Yeah, that's how I watch a lot of gaming
Yeah.
related content on YouTube.
Oh yeah, and YouTube, man.
I think that's where a lot of my gaming
Knowledge.
and just where I keep that gaming passion alive is
Oh
watching
yeah,
stuff.
me too. And it's like, hell, if it wasn't for YouTube, really, like, along with the Switch, like, I don't know if I would even be playing video games really anymore. I would
Right.
definitely still be collecting them, but
Right. Because I watch Funhouse because there's and Achievement Hunter and just the various
Yeah.
people who also do Let's Plays, and I'm like,
right.
those are a lot of fun because there's some games where I'm like, I just don't have access to, but I'll watch someone play a game.
Right.
I have no problem watching a game.
Yeah, sometimes that's fun too, just watching it. Like, I bought Minecraft. I texted you this, and I never really played it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick up Minecraft, see what this game's about. You know, it's
Mhm.
kind of older game, and they ported it to the Switch, and it's actually got this special Nintendo world on there, and it's kind of cool. But anyway, I'm like, what the fuck do I do on this game, man? Smash bricks. That's all.
See, I'm not.
I just don't get it, man. And I mean, people were probably like, "Oh, you're stupid.
Like
you know, gotta do this."
You're
and-
simplifying it to the.
Yeah, I
simplistic
mean,
version.
I don't know. Maybe I just gotta open my imagination up. But
Well,
I'm gonna watch some videos about it.
I've seen people who make stuff on
Oh
there.
yeah, and it's like amazing.
I can't do like you.
Well, how much time did you put into that?
and I'm like,
You definitely don't have a girlfriend, you know? Like,
I'm like, you got some talent. Like I can't remember. Someone built. I can't remember if they did Helm's Deep from Lord of the Rings or
oh my,
or
like the whole
it
thing.
Was, yeah,
Oh my God.
or it was the Red Keep or something like that from Game of Thrones. I can't remember which one.
Oh man.
But it might have been both. But it was like impressive. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're like,
Just like, you ever play Little Big Planet Karting?
no.
Oh man, that game is so fun, and that's another one of my like all-time favorite genres is karting games, like Mario Kart, and Crash Team Racing. That was another good one.
See, I
Play that?
Yeah, I have it on. I have it as. I don't have it when it came out here recently, but yeah, I have it as a classic on my PlayStation 3. Like
Okay.
where you can just buy the PS2 game or PS1 games on
Yeah,
there.
that was Naughty Dog's last entry into the Crash universe. It was great though. Good way to go out.
Yeah,
Kart racer.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
kart games.
But anyway, my original point with the Little Big Planet Karting, people could make their own courses on that game, and dude, they made like Mario Kart levels on there, and it looked just like the Mario Kart level, like
Oh.
on Mario 64, the Moo Moo Farm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember that. You ever play
No,
Mario Kart 64?
No, I have, but like my Nintendo knowledge is like.
Oh, dude, I'm definitely like more of a Nintendo fan than anything else.
See, I'm PlayStation. Like
Yeah.
that was my first system.
Yeah, me too. But
Mm.
I mean, that's not the first system I played though. It was always, like old Sega, old school Sega, the Genesis, and the Super Nintendo and the NES.
Right. I'm trying to think. Is there any, like any games that are considered bad but you like?
Like a guilty pleasure game.
Yeah, there you go. Like games that like are kind of not necessarily critically acclaimed, but
Well, I mean, I would consider the Lego games critically acclaimed, but that's kind of like one of my guilty pleasures. I like playing them Lego games.
same. Like me and my nephew, we got the Lego Marvel superheroes, the first one,
Mhm.
and when I would go down.
Oh crap! Sorry.
No, you're good.
Here, this is that level though. I'll just show you.
Oh,
real quick.
okay. Now I remember.
Yeah, like people made this level and it like had everything. It had like all the stuff. It had the bumps and all in the road. I'm like, dude, how in the hell did you have the time to do that? Like, it's crazy. But yeah. Anyway, the guilty pleasure games.
But the Lego Marvel, like I would come down there and we would play at least one level, so we would
Yeah.
at least stretch it out. And those games are fairly decently long, and so,
Oh yeah, like because they got like different puzzles in them and stuff.
and like
There's
at least
hella collectibles.
like 100 different characters on there.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
you can play each level with a different character, so it's
Right.
not the same thing twice. And it's like, oh, that's
Right, because there's different parts of the like level to get like the different collectibles.
Right. It's like,
Okay,
oh,
but like I said, I would consider that game critically acclaimed though. But a game that's bad that I liked. You ever play the Sega Dreamcast?
no.
There's a game on there. It's called Sonic Shuffle. It's like Mario Party,
Okay.
and people hate that game, and I loved it when I played it. I know if I'd play it now, I probably would hate it. But looking back on it, I love that game. That was a good game, man.
I got to play
Good
the
mini
Dreamcast.
games. Good mini games, but
See, I like WarioWare when it came to mini games.
yeah.
I had the GBA attachment for the GameCube.
Yeah, the Game Boy player.
Yeah.
It could play the Game Boy and Game Boy Color. I have one too.
Yeah, and I bought that just because like because there was Game Boy games I really
I was
wanted.
actually mad. This is how much of a collector I am. I was mad when I ordered that because the disc, it didn't have the fucking sleeve on the disc, and the person said it did, and I was like so angry. Like now I have to reorder a friggin' disc with the sleeve on it, and they're actually kind of hard to find with that. It has the book with it, but it don't have that sleeve.
Yeah.
Because it was like, actually, if you've ever seen the Japanese GameCube cases, they're like the case for that Game Boy player. Remember how it was small?
Yeah.
That's how the Japanese.
It was small and clear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how the Japanese game cases were. They were small,
Okay.
like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Right?
It's like the
But here in America, they made them bigger just because of the PS2 and Xbox games were that big, so they made them that big, even though the discs were, mini disc size.
Right.
They're not mini disc though, not that format.
Right.
I know this.
I was actually kind of surprised when I didn't like when the GameCube came out. I considered myself just someone who liked to play games when the GameCube came out, but so I never really followed stuff. Like all I know is like I wanted that game.
Oh, dude, I was a nerd back then, dude.
So yeah, no,
that's all I did was.
I was more movie. I'm still like that today. Like I'm like
movie guy.
I am strictly a movie guy, but like, but when it comes to games, like I mean, I do have my knowledge here and there, but it's just like, like you remember when this came out, like I can ask you, like, do you remember when this movie came out?
Right, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, so it's like
no.
But like how I know like clear case and stuff because that's only because I experienced
you had
it.
Yeah, you had it grown up and stuff. Yeah,
but
man, that's
like the Wario games, Wario Land. I think that was the one I had. And I'm like, oh,
for the GBA.
Yeah,
that was more like a side scroller game, Wario Land.
Oh, then I don't know which one I had.
You probably had WarioWare Inc.
Oh, there you go, or something like that. It was just a bunch of mini games.
Yeah, they had one for the DS too, and for the Wii. WarioWare Smooth Moves actually, and another one too. I think a mini game one.
But what was it? It was just like when I opened it up and it's like, oh, I didn't realize these discs were going to be that small.
Right? I know. I didn't realize that either at the time. My brother had a girlfriend, and that's how I got introduced to it. Because I only had a PS2, and a PS2, and PS1, of course, and 64, and well, a bunch of different consoles. But I didn't have the GameCube at the time. My brother had a girlfriend that had one, and she'd left it at the house for me to play it and stuff. And I played it, and it was Sonic Adventure was on there, and it was the Dreamcast game, Sonic Adventure. I love that game too. That's another game some people hate, some people love.
For me, for that one I played the Scorpion King movie.
The Scorpion King?
Yeah, with The Rock.
Oh, they made a video game of that?
Yeah.
Oh boy, movie tie-in video games.
And the thing is, like, I was just happy to be playing video games. So, like, now, like, if I were to go back and play that game, like, this game sucks.
Yeah.
But
what was I thinking?
But at the time, like, I'm enjoying this.
Right.
Like, I'm just happy to be here at the party, kind of like when I'm playing that game. So, like, I remember playing that game, and I had a lot of fun just because I was into wrestling, The Rock. And I'm like, Okay.
And you probably like the movie and stuff.
Yeah. So, what was it? There's this question I was gonna. I remember it now. Was there a system that you never got to play that you wish you got to play?
Mm, not really. I mean, maybe the Virtual Boy, kind of that thing, that red display that
Right.
melt your eyeballs out. But I've never played that, and it was something that came out in my lifetime. And I don't know. I've played a lot of different of the systems. Like when they'd come out, at least had a chance to play it.
Right. That's same. It's like there was always had someone who had it, or
Yeah.
it was never, or I had it personally. But like I think
I've never played a Sega Master System. That was a system that came out in the NES era.
What did that one look like?
It was pretty big. It was elongated, and it took like these small-ish cartridges.
Okay.
They're like that big. They're kind of rectangle.
Okay.
Fit into the top, and they took cards too, like little credit card size games.
Okay.
Oh, actually, thinking about it, the TurboGrafx 16 too. That's
Okay.
something that I've never played before that I wish that I'd had been able to play.
See, I always get them confused. Like, there's the Sega Genesis, and then what was the one it was the exact same thing, but it was called different? It was the Sega before that one.
Before it,
Yeah.
it was before it was the Master System. But
Okay.
it was different though.
Was it like, because I remember being able to play Sega games on there.
Now they did have, for the Genesis, they had this thing where you could put it on top to play Master System games.
Okay.
It's called the Power Base Converter.
I can't remember because I had somehow.
No, they actually had this thing. It was a portable Genesis. It was called the Nomad, the Sega Nomad, and that was a thing that came out.
Okay, no, that's not the one I'm thinking of. Let me, because I didn't get to play that one. Sega, it was something.
Was it the third installment of the Sega Slim? It was like the third one.
No,
The Sega CD?
No, I can't remember. You can. I'll try to find it here in a second.
Okay.
But it was. It was this version of the Genesis that I.
Oh, okay. So the first one that came out, yeah, that's the one that's more sought after.
Okay.
Because it has a better audio chip in it.
Oh, okay.
And the volume knob. It's the one with the volume knob on the outside.
Yeah, that's the one. That was my one that.
Yeah, because just like I said, I was thinking you were talking about the third one, but that's the first one, and then they had the second one, which sold more.
Okay.
And then they had the third one, which that's actually a little rarer. But that one is more sought after because, like I said, it has the better audio chip inside of it.
Okay, so I might have to go to my grandmother's and find this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. If you ever want to sell it,
yeah. but
someone that'll buy it.
But that's the one that I remember playing. Even though I had the traditional Genesis one, like just the flat black, one. But
Right.
that's the one that I remember more than anything.
Right.
Just because it was distinct. That's the one. That's why.
Yeah.
And the volume knob. I was like, oh, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. People you can actually modify, because that's something else I'm into is electronics, and I could go on for hours,
Yeah, I know.
because we used to work together, me
Right.
and you, and I could just go on hours about that stuff.
Yeah.
But you could actually modify the second Genesis to sound just as good as that original one with the better sound chip in it.
So we haven't. Maybe we're gonna kind of
Well, end this in about an hour.
Yeah.
Well,
We got about 10 minutes.
okay.
Is there? We may cover this again, but is there any attachments that you really liked?
Like video game attachment?
Yeah.
One was what we already talked about, the Game Boy player. And then
Kind of bring it back around.
yeah, kind of full circle here.
Yeah.
But another one, the e-reader for the Game Boy Advance. You remember that thing? It scanned cards, and you had to buy cards to like play these different games.
Like an early version of the Amiibos and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
almost, yeah.
Or is that how you say it?
Amiibos, yeah.
Okay.
That's something I haven't even gotten into.
Yeah, same. You know, I've seen people like go nuts over.
Yeah, and what sucks is because I'm a collector and everything,
Mhm.
and I collect action figures too. And to use those, you have to take them out of the package because they got something underneath them to where you can't scan it.
Right. See that. I would like.
And I know people that actually buy two of them, so they have one that's unopened and one that they can use. And I'm like, and there's ones that are rare, really rare.
Was it the a truck got knocked over because they had a bunch of
Amiibos on it?
Yeah.
Probably. I haven't.
I can't remember. I
heard
think there
about
was.
that.
I just knew someone got. I knew a truck.
It wouldn't surprise me none.
Yeah.
People go effing nuts over this stuff, dude.
Right. Did you speak like the attachments? Did you ever play like the Wii attachments? Like, stick the tennis racket.
Oh yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
I don't
kinda
know
make
if we was gonna like
Well,
if that was counted as attachments.
Yeah. Well, there's one in particular that I'm getting ready to lead to.
Okay.
Did you for Sonic and Knuckles where you can
Oh yeah, the cards on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I love that.
so you can play Sonic 2 with Knuckles.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
oh, yeah.
I think that honestly, I just like that. Like
the idea of it.
yeah.
Yeah. There was other games that did similar things like that where you could stack
Oh,
on top
really?
of each other. Yeah.
that was
Like the Game Genie. It was like that for the Sega.
yeah. Speaking of that,
And the Sega and the Nintendo 64. All the cartridge-based games.
right.
Systems.
Speaking of that, it's like did you use a Game Genie or a Game Shark and stuff like
To
that?
beat any game?
No.
I mean, yeah, I have. I mean, I remember back when them things were like all the rage. Dude.
Right.
Like when a kid had the Game Shark, you were over at their house playing around on a game. Like
Right.
you could never do before. Like you could do some crazy stuff with the game. Well, later on they were called Game Sharks.
Right.
It first started as the Game Genie, and then they were known as the Game Shark, and then later on they're now referred to as like the Action Replay. And now they don't even have stuff like that.
Cheat codes are like non-existent.
Yeah, they're like dead.
Yeah, I think Red Dead has
Some cheat codes.
Yeah, and like
Man, I actually sent you that thing. One of my son's toys. It's like this game controller,
Mhm.
and I just was thinking like, let me enter the Konami code on this thing, and it actually did something special, and I was like blown away by it. I had to send you that. It like played some Mario music and stuff.
yeah, I was like, I don't think they licensed that.
Yeah, like Nintendo is gonna shut that down. Like,
speaking of unlicensed stuff, I'm sure you know the Evil Bong series, right?
yeah,
Okay. In the first one, they're playing Super Mario Brothers, and I'm like, you didn't pay for that.
yeah.
license.
I'm surprised Nintendo. Did you know Nintendo actually owns the right to a porn?
Oh, really?
Yeah, starring Ron Jeremy as Mario, because they made it, and
Oh my God.
Nintendo found out about it, and they bought every single copy of it and bought all the rights to it just so it would never come out. And I'm not sure. I've never seen it. I've only heard of it.
That doesn't.
But I would love to see it. So
That doesn't surprise me one bit.
I would just love to see that.
With Nintendo's reputation of doing
Yeah.
stuff like that, or
Right.
like trying to prevent people from doing stuff. and
Yeah.
it's like,
Oh yeah, because I mean, if you make a YouTube video and you use anything of theirs, you got to be pretty much on their side and make them not look bad.
right. It's like
And that's what kind of sucks. It's like, come on, guys. Like, I love Nintendo and everything, but
most times it's coming from a place from the heart, you know.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, there's a few people who are like just trashing on the game to be trashing
Yeah.
on it, but most people are like, I just want to have fun playing a Nintendo game,
Right.
And I just want to share it with
because
people.
it's like special, like a Nintendo product. Like, it just
Honestly, like that's how people find out about games nowadays,
Right.
Like people, like I know, like people on Twitch and stuff. Like, oh, he's playing this game. I've never heard of this one.
right. So I'm gonna go maybe buy that or look into it.
Right. Like Funhouse.
Oh man, I remember, and that's something else that we might be able to like get into more, and like if we do this again. But like back then, like not knowing like how a game was and like getting it, and like getting like crappy games and stuff. What was like a crappy game that you'd gotten? Like that?
The game that I think that was really like I rented it and I was stuck with it for like 5 days or whatever. 'Cause I can't remember. I didn't really rent games because I was like I'm a movie guy.
Yeah.
And like once I got into the age where I'm like, oh, I can rent rated R movies and I can
Right.
like as long as I don't do or say what I see on TV. I'm like, all right, I can walk around this entire movie rental or movie gallery or
Not the part with the curtain on it, though.
right. But I'm like I always gravitated to the horror section.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, this is like this is like, oh my god, like the holy grail, like like in Clerks, where he goes to the movie rental place and he just like,
Right.
it's like
It's the better one.
yeah, it's like,
Because he works in the crappy one,
Yeah,
and
it's
he
like-
goes to the better
it's
one.
like,
Yeah.
but you work in a video, like I work in a crap.
You're right.
You know, like
Yeah.
so, but that, I think it was a football game. It was, I thought the cover looked really cool. It was just a football player with a giant hole in it, in his torso.
What console was it for? PS2?
PS1,
PS1?
I think, or something like that. And
I remember renting a bunch of crappy games for that console.
I think that was the one, and I played it. I'm like,
That's when, like, the renting thing was, like, popular
Mm.
back then. It was, like, all, like... That's what you did, on a weekend. You rented a game, and you played it on the weekend. If you
Right.
got good grades.
yeah.
You had to get good grades.
So, but I think that was. I don't remember. There's been plenty of times where I've rented bad movies, but it's like but renting a bad video game.
It's like a bad movie you can more appreciate. I
Right.
don't know what it is about a bad movie versus a bad video game, but it's like a bad movie. It's like you can make fun of it and stuff, and like have fun making fun of it, and like, oh, look how crappy that effect is, or oh, look how whatever. Look, oh, I can't believe this person's in this movie.
Right.
Like,
But
I wonder how much they got paid. That's where the budget went.
I mean, you can't do that with some video games, but some just are on.
They're annoying. Dude. Like sometimes it's like the music is just cacophony of bad, and the graphics are a fever dream. Especially back then, where like 3D games were like just getting started.
I might have to answer that one next time.
Yeah, next time definitely, because I
Um,
can't really think of one either.
But
Definitely a good question though.
yeah, I like a bad rental. I
Yeah.
think that's. I'll have to keep that one in mind
Right, me too.
because like I'm in my 30s, you're nearing your 30s.
Yeah, I'm
So like
creeping up in there.
like we have like a decade and a half of
Right.
rental experiences
Yeah.
to kind of go
Oh,
through
yeah.
in our head. So
That was a long time ago. Like kids now, they're like rental. What? You could rent video games from
Right.
a place? Like, what is that? And you had to leave your house.
yeah, like oh man, like
That was a whole experience, though, man.
one last thing what is your gaming goal for 2020?
My gaming goal: beat Super Mario U Deluxe. I was gonna say Smash Bros, but that game, this is gonna take a couple years to beat that. That new Super Mario Bros U Deluxe. I'm gonna beat that and probably get all the coins in it.
Gotcha. Yeah, mine is. I'm currently working on it. Is the Platinum Arkham Asylum
Yeah.
for the second time, and then I think I got a few games in my collection that I would like to beat. I can't remember which one. I would like to pick up Metal Gear Solid 5 again because I got a pretty decent way through it, but like
Yeah.
I just fell out of it. So
Right.
but hopefully to pick that one back up. So I got a few gaming goals.
Yeah.
But
I'll have more. I don't know.
we're only in our first month, like
Right.
we still got like I would like to play Last of Us. Like that's what I'm looking forward to the most
Right.
for gamings and but
Metroid Prime 4. It's probably not even going to come out this year. I hope they don't rush it out. I'll wait for a game like that.
oh, that's another question we'll save for next time.
Yeah.
Like
What games are we excited for?
or no, the hype that didn't match the
Oh, okay, yeah,
yeah, so-
okay.
So, anything last moments for the last 20 seconds?
No.
No, yeah, same. So we'll definitely do this again.
All right,
we'll,
yeah.
We'll keep
Probably next Sunday.
Oh,
if you're not busy,
Nope,
because I'm not busy.
I'm off.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
So, till next time, I'm Max.
And I'm Frank.
And this is our podcast.
Yeah.
So,
We don't have a name.
Yeah, we're still working out the kinks and everything.
Yeah.
So, goodbye.